When I was 4 years old, I broke a window at the convent school I attended. The headmistress, a nun who had a reputation for her ferocity, beat me with her shoe as a punishment. By the way, this was long after corporal punishment had been made illegal, but I'm not going to sue a nun. I reckon that kind of thing would probably get you some extra days in purgatory. But it was very upsetting. It's the reason I've never been able to watch Sister Act. I can't even look at Whoopi Goldberg without reigniting my trauma. As kids in this convent school, we all used to wonder about our headmistress, why she was such a scary person, and why she would choose to become a servant of God. But we've all seen it, haven't we? Figures in authority, be they teachers, police, politicians or priests, who don't seem motivated by compassion, but rather power and status. Another word for such people is bullies. Now, I want to emphasise that, in my experience, the sort of people who devote their lives to education or law enforcement tend to be among the best sort of human beings. But there's always one or two who've clearly taken this career path because it provides them with the means to bully others and get away with it. And we see this on social media all the time. Many people have started to notice that the most vicious, uncharitable and inhumane behaviour is coming from those who post hashtags such as love wins or be kind. I mean, I've been dogpiled by the be kind lot more times than I can remember. To give an example from just a few days ago, so JK Rowling had shared a video of an experienced psychiatrist who was outlining his concerns about how gender clinics were often failing to recognise that autism and homophobia are so often connected with feelings of gender dysphoria. Not only a reasonable point to discuss, but a deeply compassionate one. And in response, a podcaster who calls himself a humanist replied with this: "You're a repulsive bigot, go F yourself, transphobic trash." Now, JK Rowling has never said anything transphobic. In fact, she's been openly supportive of trans rights. She has, however, received countless death and rape threats for acknowledging biological reality and standing up for the rights of women to have single-sex spaces. So why is it that someone who calls himself a humanist is behaving like an obnoxious thug? Similarly, whenever I'm attacked online, and I don't mean criticism here, I mean people who post threats or abuse, in virtually every single case, when I look at their profile, it contains either a rainbow flag or their preferred pronouns. And yet these symbols are meant to connote empathy and love and virtue. Now, to be clear, I think that many people who post pronouns or rainbow flags are decent people who are doing so because they believe it helps others to feel included. But no one has yet been able to explain to me why there is such a clear correlation between pronoun declaration online and unfeeling, uncaring and bullying behaviour. So here's an example of what I'm talking about.
I still search for the right hurt in the left brain as I kill turks with a left hook. Now I feel worse. JK, hope you fit in the hurt.
As I kill turfs with a left hook, now I feel worse. JK, hope you fit in a hearse. Well, it's hardly Noel Coward, is it? I mean, I could forgive the misogyny and the lack of talent if he could write some decent lyrics. But this kind of thing does reveal the extent of the hysteria surrounding these issues. And when Rowling posted a tweet about this rather cringe-making video, these are some of the responses she got from those who are apparently on the right side of history. There's this one: "I want JK Rowling to die so she can't make any more transphobic blood money and then her legacy will crumble in 2 seconds." Here's another one: "JK Rowling should kill herself." And this charming person retweeted Rowling and said, "I wouldn't hesitate to stab you in the street." And there are literally thousands of these. I mean, Rowling has said she could paper the house with the number of rape and death threats she gets, and I'm guessing that's a big house, right? And yes, you have guessed it, all of those examples I've just given are from accounts with pronouns in their bio. Those who claim to be kind, loving and inclusive and all about the empathy. Well, I'm not so sure about that. And this is what made me think of that nun at my school who beat me with her shoe. I think it's usually wise to assume the best of people and to acknowledge that many of those who fly the pride flag and post their pronouns do so with the very best of intentions. But while some people don the priestly robes out of a sense of duty, there are many others who do so as a disguise. I mean, what better way for a bully to get away with it by pretending to be virtuous? But from what I've seen online, if these people really are on the right side of history, the future looks pretty bleak.